Oh, there
Ladies
you
and
go.
gents, yep, are we up there live? We're recording this for future reference for the people that might be joining us on YouTube at a later time. But we're so glad to be here with you. It's Claudia and Cindy. This is part of our Resilient Soul series, and it's something that that I have been doing this year, 2024. I've been doing it for a long time prior to that, but I called it something else. Like each year, I come up with a new theme, and this year it is Resilient Soul Series. And I'm just thrilled to have everyone here. This is a time for us to just really have discussions on self care, self empowerment, um, just things that have to do with loving yourself and your life. And I'm so thankful for those of you who are in the community and are joining us live and supporting us as we do these, even when you come on later and watch the replays. And I would like to offer those of you who are watching, whether or not you're an expert in some sort of a field, or you're just an enthusiast, you're just starting out in something, and it doesn't have to be job, or business related, or even just some personal story that you feel called to share with us. I would love to feature you in an interview too. We also do panel discussions, and I have a newsletter that I like to share and support people using. So I'll be putting the link down below if you're interested in being featured. Today, we're going to be talking with Claudia. And so she's here with us. And we're talking about, first of all, the thing that drew my attention to kind of reach out to her is that she has a blog. And guess what? Some of the things she puts on that blog, recipes, and our group likes recipes, and we've got some really interesting variety of recipes and things that we talk about from time to time. So we're going to talk today with Claudia about health, about wellness, self-care, diet, things that are important. And we're going to talk some, which I think is very interesting, about toxic living or low toxic living, you know, so that because Claudia's been, and then I'm going to let her explain a little bit more about it. But when she moved to the United States, all of a sudden she started having more problems with her health. So interesting. So why don't you tell us about your mission, Claudia, and get us started?
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me. This is an absolute honor, in my opinion. Um, my name is Claudia McMicken. I am 56 years old, or I should say 56 years young, because it's just a number. Um, I was a dispatcher for over 30 years, which, being very sedentary job and raising kids and very stressful and shift work and all of that, you tend to eat badly. Started to gain weight, didn't exercise, did all the wrong things. I grew up overseas, so we ate very clean. Moved back to the States, was 18, almost 19 years old, and we didn't do fast food. I mean, we just didn't growing up. We did it when we came in the summer or whatever, but so got into the habit of not eating properly and realized that there's a lot of processed foods that we eat here, which leads to weight gain, leads to gut issues, leads to all kinds of issues with your health. So finally, after my kids grew up and they've been moved out of the house a few years, I decided, well, I'm going to now focus on myself instead of focusing on my kids or my job or anything else. And I started learning about, processed foods and toxic chemicals and everything, and decided that I was going to live a low toxic life, and decided that I wanted to share it and help other people, either through helping them switch to non-toxic things, or learn about what they can do or how they can eat, or recipes. I'm half Italian, so I love to eat. So I figured I'd start a blog kind of to hold myself responsible for my health and wellness journey, but then it turned into Eco Wellness, which is a balance between the environment and health, because they go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's how it started, and it's just been evolving over
Yeah.
time.
Mm. Yes, and it's interesting. So you said you moved here when you were in your teens, almost 20, and then you had this job, and you started doing the things that we all do when we have a job that is pretty demanding and long hours and all that stuff. And it wasn't until you were in your mid 50s that you started becoming more conscious and aware of what's in our food. Did I understand that correctly?
So I guess,
The reason I ask is because that's when I was in my mid 50s is when I had a major physical crash. And that's when I started really paying attention to what's in our food and toxins and stuff like that. And when you mentioned 56, I thought, well, maybe um, you were that age, but were you younger when you started kind of focusing on that?
yeah, I guess I was younger. I mean, I had little kids, so I tried to do the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
which I found now is
Not the right
wasn't really
thing?
the
No.
right thing, but you know, yeah, you mean you live, you learn. I tried to feed my kids healthy and stuff like that. But I was more focused on making sure that they had what they needed. And I guess I kind of let myself go. Even though I was trying to do the right things, I would feed them the right things. I try to eat a little, and over time I just gained the weight. But yeah, you're right. Learning about the processed foods, I guess I dove into it more once my kids grew up and were out of the house because I had more time.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
subconsciously I knew because the food didn't taste the same when I moved here. Things tasted different. And I don't think I quite put my finger on it until I want to say maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah.
started looking into it. And then, of course, it became more prevalent. And then we started learning about GMOs and you started learning about um, all the things that they're doing with farming and how they're changing things and how stuff isn't as pure as it used to be and all those different things. And it really makes you stop and think.
It
And that's when
does.
I decided I wanted to do something to try to educate people
Yeah.
and, for myself and others.
Yeah. And I appreciate that because that's what it's all about really is not only taking care of yourself, but kind of the circle, your sphere of influence. That's why it's going to make a difference in our life and helping people to understand certain things. And I mean, I have to be really open here. It I started in 2015 because I was physically shot and emotionally too at that time because of the things that the way I was living as far as my workload and not eating healthy, not sleeping well, and things like that. And I had no idea about toxins in food. I mean, I know it. Should have been old enough, and I should have known better, but I didn't realize how different the food is now than it
Yeah.
used to be. And I also didn't realize, had no clue, although now when I talk to people about stuff like this, that vitamins, most of them are not even real. They're just they're just chemicals that they've made to mimic what a vitamin is. And when I started learning that kind of stuff, then I realized, wow, it's no wonder everybody's sick.
Mhm.
And so I started doing just for myself, and my family, learning more about taking vitamins and watching and trying not to eat the processed foods and things like that. I did not go as far as to start writing a blog. That's not my thing, but I think it's a really cool idea to be able to reach people. Blogs are really wonderful. They You can get a wealth of information from them. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about your blog and some of the different things in your blog? As far as I know, you put recipes on there. What are some of the other things that you like to blog about when it comes to this greener, healthier, cleaner lifestyle?
So environmental sustainability type topics. I have a blog that I wrote about. Well, I did one about, because I live in Texas. So I did one about growing, I think it was like two types. I'd have to go back and look. Because once I write it, I just write it and then I do it. So I can't remember every single blog I wrote. But originally it started out to hold myself accountable for my health and wellness journey, recovering from all those things. But then I threw in some recipes, did some stuff about, toxic cleaning supplies. I did one recently here about starting your own garden and how, just a little short one there. I think I did one on self-care, and I probably need to do a few more on those. And then I've done a couple about recently lost my best friend, so I did one about that. Because I gained back the weight I lost. So, stress can affect you. So I'll probably do one about stress. It's just really all the things that affect your health and wellness. And it's just a variety of things. But also I did article about, I think it talked about lab grown meat, and just different things about how they affect our health, how they affect the environment. And everything goes hand in hand. If we're not going to be able to sustain ourselves and keep ourselves healthy if we go down the road of lab grown meat or fully processed foods and things like that. The more closer to the earth type of thing that we put in our body, the better it is for us.
Yes.
I
Yes.
tend to think that the Native Americans had it right. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to offend anybody by using that term, but they used everything. I mean, nothing went to waste. It was a circle. What came from the earth went into their bodies, went back into the earth. And I really do believe that we need to maybe get back to that place and use products and purchase things that are more aligned with that thought process,
Right.
that are
And
better for our bodies, so that we can be more productive and happier and healthier. Because I think when you're sick and you don't have your health, it affects not just you, but your entire family, your friend. It affects so much. And I
yes.
think we need to be very conscientious about that.
Yes. And I noticed when you filled out the application for us to chat here, one of the phrases you said about your blog is to lift spirits.
Mhm.
And that touched my heart. It really did. And when you're sharing here what you write about, it sounds to me like you're almost chronicling it's a chronicle of your life as you go and you learn and you grow. You write about it and you share it with people to be able to, as you put it, kind of sprinkle some of that eco-friendly pixie dust everywhere. And I love that. I think that's a fabulous way to look at it, and it puts the fun into it because it's scary when you think about and learn about all this stuff. And it's really overwhelming to me in the very beginning when I first started learning. And I thought, is this really real? This stuff, because I wasn't taught that when I was a kid, that you have to be careful with toxins and what all this is going to do to you and all that. I had never heard about that. However, plenty of people have heard about it for years. One of my best friends, when I first started talking to her about the transitions I made in my health, um, And I mentioned that some of the changes I had made with my how I take care healthcare, using some natural healthcare solutions. She's like, Cindy, we've been doing that for 25 years. I'm like, oh, really? So it's,
I think part of the problem, though, is that I think that, and this might offend some people or make some people mad, but oh well. I think we've been conditioned to believe certain things, and we're not really taught everything. You're not given the options. You're just being told, do this.
mhm.
But I know from my personal experience that eating something that doesn't come out of a box is better for you. Yeah, it's easy to grab, I don't know, pick something that comes out of a box.
Macaroni and cheese.
Okay, macaroni and cheese. Look at the ingredients in macaroni and cheese. Now go overseas in Europe and look at the ingredients in their same exact macaroni and cheese. Their standards are different than ours. We allow more processed crap in our food. And that goes off on a whole other tangent talking about big pharma, but for me, I just want to educate and provide some kind of service to people so that they can know about these things.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you on that. I started out when I started on social media sharing things and building my Facebook community. It was more finely tuned and focused into just the wellness piece. And then I started branching out, and now, like you, it's almost the wholeness piece now, not just being well and healthier, but about being more emotionally stable and accountable, and the spiritual aspect of it as well.
But it
And
all works together. If you're
it
missing one
does.
part, then the rest of it's not going to be fluid. It's like a giant circle, like a pie. If you take out a piece of a pie, it's not whole.
Yeah, yep. So it's interesting when you talk about the differences too in the um, what they allow in our country compared to what they allow in other countries. And I have a blogger that shares in the group, Cheryl, and she does a lot of uh, they're holistic, organic. All of her recipes and stuff are holistic and organic and homemade. And she says the same thing. Even the standard American diet, SAD, she says, is very sad. It really is sad. And the thing is that as I got older and started working, thinking more about it, is it keeps changing too. So what they used to think was good food for you, all of a sudden now it's not good food for you anymore. And so it's interesting. Who do you believe when it comes to that
Look
kind
at,
of stuff?
they used to tell you don't eat eggs.
I know.
Eggs are bad. Now eat eggs. They used to say don't eat beef. Now eat beef. My opinion is, and everybody has an opinion, everything in moderation. If you want a piece
Yeah.
of chocolate, have a piece of chocolate. Don't eat the whole bag. Have a
Yeah.
piece. If you want beef, have it twice a week. Heck, eat it every day if you feel like it. But it's what, you know, is it grass fed? Is it lab grown? Is it, there's so different kinds. You have to do your research and you have to choose what's best for you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, hey, Cindy, you have to go and do this. No, I'm going to write about whatever in my blog. It's either going to resonate with people or it's not. But here's the best part. I'm open for discussion. If you don't agree with something, don't come at me in a negative way, but let's discuss. I would love to have discussions and hear other people's opinions because that's what it's all about. That's how you come to learn. Maybe somebody can share something I don't know. That would be great.
Yeah.
I don't know everything. I just write about what I find fascinating, what I think is going to help, and something that I think is going to help other people. It doesn't make me an expert. I am not, trust me, not an expert.
No, but neither am I. None of us are. I mean, there's certain areas of expertise, but even in that respect, we are still learning and growing as we, move forward in this world, because new things are always coming up or being found out through science and research and things like that. So why don't you tell us the name of your blog? We'll also post it down here in the comments after we get to talk. But tell us the name of your blog and tell us how people can get in touch with you or connect with you if they want to talk and share and ask questions
So my blog is called The Confident Wellness Warrior. And you just www.theconfidentwellnesswarrior.com and you'll find me. I'm also on Facebook, Claudia McMicken. And I also have a Facebook group called Neighborhood Wellness Cafe. And I mean, you guys are welcome to send me a DM or, put a comment on Facebook and I can get back with you, or visit my blog, subscribe. Listen, I hate spam just like everybody else. Trust me, I'm new to this whole blogging, email list, whatever, subscribe thing. I'm not going to spam you because I don't know how. And even if I did, I wouldn't, because I hate it. So, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, join my Facebook group. If you don't agree with something that I say, let's debate. I'm always up for a good debate. Why not?
Yeah.
It's all about having fun. You got to have fun. That I think we've lost a lot of that. And I think social media has made it either this or this. You have to pick a side. You don't have to pick a side.
Yeah.
Just have fun with it.
Yeah.
Let's just have fun.
Yeah, get back to playing. And of course, I'm an educator, and so we know that play is actually work. Things you do, whatever kind of play, most of the time, I can't say all play, but most of the time, most of the time, the things that we do for fun and enjoyment and stuff, it feeds us in one way or another in a very positive way. So, and you do it by giving information. And I love that. And of course, interaction too. So I really do appreciate you being on here. I've seen people popping in and out on our discussion here. And so if they have any questions, they'll post them in the comments and we can get back to them. I haven't seen any, but we will post the links to what you just mentioned down underneath in the comments so people can get in touch with you. And
Absolutely.
is there anything else that you'd like to share with us before we sign off?
I just want to thank you for this opportunity. Like I said, I'm honored that you even asked. Really just subscribe to my blog and let's be friends and let's just have fun. Make the best out of life. Don't sweat the small stuff.
There you go. Don't sweat the small stuff. I think there's a book written with that title.
Probably.
Probably some songs written too. And
Right.
and Claudia, I would love for you to post, in my group when you write a new blog, go ahead and post it in there, and
Okay.
so we can read it and learn from you. So
Okay.
feel free.
I'm also on Instagram.
Yeah.
At Mama Wolves. So follow me there
Yeah.
too if you feel like it. If not, no big deal.
Yeah, we got Instagram peeps on here too. So, all right. Well, good. And like I said, if you remember, or maybe put it on your calendar, to post in Cindy's group, because we want to be a part of this movement and we want to sprinkle some of that eco-friendly dust around.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you again. And we
Thank you.
will probably meet and chat again on another topic sometime.
Absolutely. I
Bye-bye.
look forward to it. Bye.